Welcome to Dunce Party.
We're back with our, second episode in a little bit since the hiatus.
Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff's happening this weekend, though.
Yeah, man.
Bonnaroo got rained out.
Because of that, I get to go see perhaps my favorite band in the world, Modest Mouse, playing right next to the Comedy Catch where I'm doing a set tonight. So I just get to walk off stage at the Comedy Catch, walk across the road, and go in to see my favorite band. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be sick, man.
I feel bad for the people who got rained out at Bonnaroo. I never went, but now I'm like out of. I can't do a festival. I can't go do a whole weekend festival. I've done comedy on a couple of festivals, but like
those aren't
music.
outside.
Yeah. No. Like I've done comedy at an outdoor music festival.
Oh, right.
2 different times, Valley Vibes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was not Bonnaroo. It was not.
Yeah.
But it's so hot.
Right.
But I hope everybody did have a good time. It's a bummer that it got rained out, but because of that, I get to see Modest Mouse tonight, which is for the 3rd time, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, and Matt's gonna take poppers tonight.
Yeah, that's what I do when I go to concerts. I just sit. I sniff poppers, just so my eyes get dilated.
Yeah, yep. And so if he meets the band,
yeah.
anything can happen.
Yeah, Andrew, is that homophobia?
No.
Okay, it wasn't homophobia. Sorry for
it's
bringing
not
it up.
homophobia. It's just I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm excited for you, man.
I'm not gay, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you said that Modest Mouse, you saw them when you became a man for the first time.
Yeah, last time I saw them was right before I turned 30. I was like 29, about to turn 30. They played at the Tivoli. And let's just say I did something with a chemical reaction was caused in my brain. And it was like the most cathartic experience I ever watched. Like when the concert ended and the lights came up, it felt like I'd like made this pass. Like my childhood is behind me,
right?
And I'm embarking on this new life of manhood, of being a 30-year-old.
Yeah. See, that's what we really should reclassify. Like, I think this is actually what some people really want, is like anything you do before 30 cannot be held against you
in a court of law. Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. He's a child. He's 29 years old.
Well, if anyone young is listening to this, which probably not, but what they don't realize is that like 30, I'm sure 40, blah, 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 over the hill, all those kind of milestones, but 30 is the first real one where you are like when you turn 18 and you turn 21, it's like, oh, the best is in front of me.
Yeah.
When your 20s are over, you're like, oh, shit, I need to get a 401k.
Right. When you do turn 30, it is like, okay, no one's going to be impressed with anything you do. Unless you're like the president of a company. Like, you're no longer like, oh, wow, you're really... Unless you die. If you die, they're like, oh, man, you were young. But... Like, it's like if you are successful in your career, it's like,
not
you should be.
There are so many famous comedians younger than us.
Oh, yeah. Like Taylor Thomason is my age. It's like, oh.
And, like, she's been famous for years.
Like 10 years. Like, not 10 years. She's been famous for a long time, though, man. Like.
Yeah. No, I mean, for sure. And, I mean, it's all in perspective. Like,
it's all relative.
She's very talented. She also went all in very young.
But even, like, comedy aside, like, even if you're, a lawyer and you're 30 years old, it's like, yeah, you should be. You're 30.
It's like, no, you're right. Yeah. And it's like, my job isn't really impressive for someone in their 30s. I mean, it's not a bad job, but it's like, it's kind of the status quo, what you should have. And, no one's impressed.
Yeah, but people are like that about other stuff, too, where there's like, Leonardo DiCaprio's girlfriend's 23 years old. He's dating a child.
Yeah. Well,
the age gap is weird, but like...
The thing about that for me is like, okay, yeah, a 50-year-old dating a 23-year-old is very weird.
Right.
But on the flip side, like you have to come to a point, whatever that age is, you have to come to a point where a woman is a woman and we're not going to infantilize her anymore, and she gets to make her own decisions.
Right.
And, live with what her decisions are. And but it's like, well, people get, with age gaps, people get real weird, but I've seen people online be like, he's 60 dating a 35-year-old. That's a predatory.
At some point, it's like,
at some point, it's just like, like people get to live their lives the way they want to.
I mean, we got a friend who's a man who's 40 dating like a 67-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
They're engaged, actually.
Yeah.
And they seem very happy.
It's like, I mean, you going to put her in jail, you know?
Yeah, I mean, at some point it just gets stupid.
Yeah.
But like with everything, it's like, yeah, like that is something to keep an eye out for.
Right.
But then like the internet creates this like petri dish where it just grows and grows and grows to like now people don't like any age gaps whatsoever. Like anything over 5, like when you're young, anything over 5 years. When you're older, anything over 10 years. They're just like, you know, they just don't jive with it. Which I mean, that's fine too. People get to have their opinions, but like I don't think
Not
you're
for
going to
long.
successfully shame anyone into quitting the relationship when they're in their 30s.
I think we should let 16-year-olds rent cars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and like join the draft.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if 16-year-olds had to draft? Dude, that'd be probably the best. It would be simultaneously be the best and worst military we've ever had. Because people would be treating boot camp like it's a high school English class.
Dude, my doctor's like kind of he's like kind of like bought in on some of like the red pill stuff.
Your doctor?
My doctor, he's a nurse practitioner, but it's really funny. He's like, you know, man, some of these teenagers are too fat to join the military. It's because all the stuff we put in our food. And he's like, yeah, you're right, I guess, but like,
I wasn't too fat then. I mean, I obviously am now.
I was too
wasn't
fat to
then.
join the Navy. They kept calling me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm interested. They're like, how much do you
take
weigh?
the ASVAB?
No, they're like, how much? Because this is why. He's like, how much do you weigh? I'm like, I'm 6'2", 270. They're like, well, call us if you lose like 75 pounds.
See, I was only like 230 when I graduated,
Yeah.
but like, you know, it was a lot of it was muzzle, you know, because I did sports the whole time. I was on the lifting team. Now I'm just a blob, but
Less so now, though.
but yeah, I've been losing some weight. Been trying to watch my calories. So like this is like I also got a lot of calls from recruiters.
Yeah.
We had the ASVAB at our school, and it's just like you could take it and get out of class, and it was for real. Just seemed like the easiest test ever. Part of it was because like I grew up on a farm and like working on a farm doing manual stuff. Like I knew how an engine worked, and like they, you know, it wasn't just all math and English. It was like more practical questions sometimes. It's broken up into several parts, and let's just say this kind of sounds lame. I'm not saying this to make myself look good, but I smashed that test.
Yeah.
And the recruiters, like for real, they're like, you can go to the academies, you can do this. I mean, not like Annapolis or like, you know, the Citadel, the this. But sometimes I wish I had joined the military because it's like now I'm older and it's like, oh yeah, that would have been nice. It's good. It looks good. Like, I mean, I don't know, but I would have had to have been in the Army or whatever. That's rough.
Yeah.
I respect anyone who does it, though. It's hard.
Were there questions like, if you're deployed to the city of Los Angeles
Yeah.
and you see a protester waving a Mexican flag, what do you do?
Dude, I guess we kind of have to talk about all this because, like, it's just getting crazy.
Matt's been sad about it.
Yeah, dude, it bothers me. Like I'm worried in a sense, not in a sense, and full-fledged. I'm worried about what's going to happen,
And the reason why we have to talk about it is because we know so many people tuned in to hear
our political hot takes. I don't really have any hot takes. They're all very cold, like lukewarm, room temperature at best.
Practical takes.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, dude, it's like it. It's so sad, everything that's going on, and like the government is just like, it's like that one quote. I think it was I forget who it was, but it's just, I think it might have been from like Star Trek Troopers or something. But it's like when the military should never be the police because the military is there to fight the enemy, and when the military and the police are there to protect the people, and when the military or the police, the people become the enemy.
Right, yeah.
And it's just so true, man. And it's like, it's just sad. I don't want to get too bummed out about it, but like there's a big protest here this weekend. I saw it looked like there was a lot of people there.
Yeah, we drove by it.
I didn't go, but I do support them for doing it. Maybe I should have. I thought about it. That was for real. They started at 9 a.m. and like I played cards with some friends last night, and I did a set at the Comedy Catch, and then played cards after. So like I was out until midnight 30.
Yeah.
And I can't just go straight to bed.
Man, I was out until I did some shows in Atlanta last night, and dude, I don't know why they always do this to me. I'm very grateful for any spots I get. It's at the Laughing Skull. It's a really fun club. They do showcase style shows.
It's a great club.
And it seems like every time I go there, they put me last on the late show. It's like, dude, I'm driving 2 hours. I guess because they assume like there's no way he's probably staying the night. He's got no place to be. It's like, no, dude.
They probably are. I mean, you're pretty good. You're pretty in good with those people. You should just mention it. You should
Last time I pitched a fit, I didn't pitch a fit, but like I
forgot about that.
People got pissed at me because I was like, hey, I need to go early, and like everyone kept trying to skip to the front of the line, and like it was just all marked up, and I'm like, dude, I don't. It's fine. Whatever.
Does Ian make the list?
I don't know who makes the list. I think it was probably Bob Place or something.
Okay,
but it's a great club. It's a lot of fun.
It's an amazing club. Does the crowd like trickle out?
No.
Later. Then yeah, I mean, it's still a great spot. I mean, honestly, it's kind of a compliment.
It is a compliment. I think. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. It's hard to tell with Atlanta comedians.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's our buddy, Nick Tallelli, is a very, very funny comic. He's headlining the Comedy Catch this weekend for the first time.
And he was supposed to come on the podcast today.
Yeah, I asked him to come on a podcast. He has the most thick New York accent you've ever heard. Andrew does it pretty good. I was like, hey, Tallelli.
Well, so I went over to, after they played cards, I was driving back home, and I popped over to our friend Jeff's house, and they were all hanging out. And Nick had agreed to do the show with us today, and Matt was talking to him, trying to convince him last night. What were you gonna say?
His first rule, I was like, hey man, you should do mine and Andrew's podcast tomorrow.
He's like, I never do podcasts.
I got a rule, no podcasts.
No podcasts.
And I was like, oh man, that sucks. Well, it's going to be a fun time. You should just do it. It'll be fun. You're in town. And he's like, I don't know.
Forget about it.
Does the podcast have a theme? He asked me that. And I was like, it's called Dunce Party. But me and Andrew just kind of are like shooting the shit. And he's like, I'll think about it. I'll let you know by the end of the night. And then, actually, he said, you let me know by the end of the night. And I was like, what do you fucking mean? He's like, I'll let you know. And then, 15 minutes later, he's like, okay, I'll do your podcast. And then Andrew goes over to Jeff's house. Then I go over
there, and it's like 3 a.m. and everyone's going to bed. And Nick's like, hey, man, I'm going to bed. Just tell Matt I was never going to do the podcast. I just wanted to let the big guy down easy. Okay, didn't want to hurt his feelings. He's a nice kid.
Oh, dude, when I see him tonight, I'm going to josh him about it.
You should fight him.
Yeah. I might, actually. No, dude, he's from New York.
Dude, I think that maybe society would be better off if we could just like
if people fought a little bit more often.
Yeah.
No, first off, it is not like that with me and Nick. Like I'm not even mad.
No.
But totally like joking. I agree with that. That sometimes that's part of like the old ways, like in the 50s, like people fought with their fists, and then when I was in high school, I got in some fights, and like when it was over, it was over.
Right.
But
just like fight and then get it out of your system.
People just can't like when you fight. Like there's a great chance that you could lose, like you know what I mean, and that people's psyche just can't take it. And now, for whatever reason, like people come back with guns, or you're afraid. And it's like you should only fight in like certain situations. But I do think it would help a lot of people to be able to get their aggressions out to one another. You know, as long as both agree.
Yeah, it's like in Friday, where it's like
with your fists.
When I was growing up, we used these.
Yeah.
It's like
Friday is such a good movie.
Friday is kind of like, I think Friday is not to the same degree, but it's sort of like Full Metal Jacket, where it's almost like two movies, but like basically like 85% of Friday is like a comedy, and then the very end it gets like very serious. Yeah, and like
there's some
Full Metal Jacket is just like two great comedies packed.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket's like two movies stitched together, kind of. But I mean, that was an artistic choice. Like
it was probably an autistic choice too.
Kubrick, Stanley, Kubrick, Stanley, just an amazing artist. Yeah. And it's like every decision in that movie was like. All of his movies are like very deliberate. Anything you see or anything that happens is extremely deliberate.
He came up with "Me Love You Long Time."
Me love you long time. Dude, they used that. That was a song. Remember that song? Me so horny.
Alabama Black Snake.
Since we've done this, I watched the entirety, everything that came out of that show, Hacks.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Believe it or not, I fucking love the show. I don't know, people who haven't seen it, it's about like an old, a very famous, what was the name of the lady? She was so funny. I don't know why I can't remember.
Phyllis Diller.
She was, when she got old, she would talk on the red carpet and like roast people's outfits. Joan Rivers. She's like kind of a Joan Rivers type comedian who's like, has been famous for 40 years, and she now for the past 25 years or so, she's had just a residency in Las Vegas, and it's about her like losing her residency and deciding like, I'm going to get back into the nitty gritty. I'm going to write a whole hour. I'm going to write a completely new special, and like I'm going to pour myself into it. Whereas she's become distanced from her art because like she's doing like jokes she's literally been doing the same set for at least 15 years.
She's even at the Comedy Catch one night.
Yeah. No, but I mean, she did go to all sorts of clubs.
Did they film it at any real clubs?
I mean, I assume so, but I didn't recognize any of them.
Yeah.
They wasn't like, oh, I'm at the Stand tonight or the Comedy Cellar or whatever, like famous clubs. But it was really good. I saw some people, I forget his name, but that guy who is always on Kill Tony dressed up as Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah.
He was like not dressed as Dr. Phil, but he was the host, and she offers him $1.69 million to never do stand-up again.
What would it take for you to never do stand? How much money?
I mean,
I would do it for $1.69 million.
Yeah, I feel like I'd have to, dude. I'm never gonna. I mean, like the chances of me getting that kind of chunk of change for doing. I mean, and it is for doing comedy technically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I'll pay you one. I'll pay you one for that last set as long as it was your last set.
I mean, I could find something else. I could find another.
Yeah, start writing, trying to write for TV, sketch. I mean, yeah, dude. But the lowest I would do it for, I wouldn't do it for $50,000.
I wouldn't do it for.
I wouldn't do
$200,000.
Me either, I don't think. But like, the higher it goes, the more I think about it.
Yeah, right.
But I wouldn't do it for $50,000. It would have to be enough that like I was, if not set for life.
Dude, $1.7 million. You really could live off the interest for the rest of your life.
Yeah, how much would it be? We have to do the math.
So, like,
quick.
If you just say, because
like
let's say
8% interest a year,
but like let's say you can live on 6%. So like
7.
So like times 0.06. So you would get $102,000.
$100,000 for a year for the rest of your life.
Since you have that 2% and it adjusts for inflation. So $100,000 a year for the rest of your life, adjusted for inflation.
That's awesome, man.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, I guess I would have to do it.
I would probably sneak. I start sneaking.
Yeah, no,
around.
Create a character.
Yeah, I'd be the Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, I watched that movie too. The Pee Wee as himself.
Yeah,
it was really interesting. I'd never like heard the full story of like how that character came and like how it was developed, and like he was in the Groundlings, which I knew that, with Phil Hartman. Him and Phil Hartman were like really good friends.
What does Phil Hartman do? He wrote
SNL. He was on SNL. He was on News Radio, and then his wife killed him. He's like one of the best ever on SNL.
Yeah.
Like I would put him on my top. Like if I was making the like all pro SNL team of all time, he would be on that cast.
Hey, speaking of wives killing people, my mom's first cousin. They solved his murder. His wife killed him.
What?
Yeah, he was on His case was on Dateline.
How long ago? This is your wife.
Ago?
This is your mom's first cousin.
My mom's first cousin. Yeah.
So your second first cousin once removed, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Murder. Yeah, she got the life sentence. His wife got the life sentence for.
How long ago did the murder happen?
Like probably like 2020 or something like that. Atlanta attorney Gary Big Daddy Ferris murdered. I didn't know his name was Gary. I knew his name was Gary. I didn't know he had a suit on him.
Big Daddy, and he was a lawyer.
Yeah, he was a lawyer.
Can you imagine the commercials that he probably had? Yeah. You hurt or injured? Just call Big Daddy.
Yeah, dude. I want. What are some like names of the Dateline, MSNBC Dateline or whatever episode they didn't pick?
I don't know what you mean.
Like, because I think there's just a bunch of funny potential episode names.
What are they normally called?
Let's see, Dateline, Gary Ferris.
I'm glad they found him.
A little patch of perfect. See, that's a terrible name for an episode.
Yeah, that's so bad. A little patch of perfect. And it's like one's called Heaven on Earth.
Yeah, it's like Big Trouble for Big Daddy.
Yeah, Shangri-La.
Yeah.
Big Trouble for Big Daddy. Oh, that's good. It's crazy. And his wife had just been walking free this whole time, or was she like?
I think she was out on bail for like a long time.
How long ago did they arrest her? Like, did they arrest her when it happened?
Like a year after it happened, I think, because they staged it like to make it look like he had a heart attack.
They?
She staged it.
Okay,
and then she tried to pin it on her own son. Yeah, we should watch this Dateline episode and like.
I do want to see this.
Do a review.
I do.
Of
this is Andrew's family murder, dude. My dad told me this story, and this is a long time ago, but like. He had a cousin who, before I was born, he had a cousin who like played the organ in like a little Tennessee country church.
Yeah.
And a homeless man, like a vagrant or whatever, rolled through, and he didn't have anywhere to sleep. And he was like, "Well, you can stay with me." And he killed him in the middle of the night.
The homeless man killed him?
With an axe that he got from the garage.
Yeah.
At least that's how I remember the story. It's really sad. He had red hair, which I thought was funny.
The homeless man?
No, the guy who got killed. So the way I came up is like, there's a picture of my dad and all his brothers and like a couple other guys. And it's like, who's this? Who's this? When I was a kid. But yeah, it's crazy. It's sad.
That is sad.
And it's like, because, dude, it's always fucked up when, like, someone who's, like, doing something out of the goodness, like, that's such a good nature.
What do they call that? Like, no good deed goes unpunished?
Yeah, they do say that. I don't know if that's true, but
there's probably some good deeds that go unpunished.
Surely.
Surely, right? Like, if you, like, I don't know, pay for your parking and then don't get hit by a car, like
yeah.
Dude, parking in Atlanta's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, $25 is what I paid to park last night.
Parking over at the show. Really? Dang.
I paid $25.
I paid $9 just because I normally look for a free spot, but it was raining so hard
I had to take a shit.
that I just what?
I had to take a shit really bad. I'm like, fine, take my money. I don't care. They really should, they really could just, have $100 parking, and if you had a shit bad enough, you're like, well.
And it's just open-ended, you can stay there for 24 hours if you need to.
Yeah,
or is it what I hate is when, okay, this is the price, and okay, you got 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it's well, what the hell?
I can't shit in 2 hours, man. I need more time.
Oh, man. And it's like you're in the, like that from Dumb and Dumber, where he's
yeah.
He's legs are up in the air. It's explosive.
Right.
That's gross. But what else has been happening?
Oh, my grandma and my great aunt came and stayed with us.
Dude. Oh, tomorrow's Father's Day too. I gotta go see my dad. Need to get a haircut in the morning.
We went to brunch, and my grandma's so funny. There's this table of young women who had a tower of different colored juice drinks. And she's like, man, I bet Thomas, my son, who's a year old.
Yeah, at brunch. Y'all were at brunch.
I bet Thomas would love some of those. I was like, well, those are mimosas, Mama. Well, good God Almighty, they're drinking mimosas this early.
At 1 p.m.?
It's like, yes.
I'm like, yeah, dude, that's brunch, baby.
I was like, I don't think we ever... I was telling Christine, Christina's we go on a date and, Momo can watch him. It's like, no, I think he might... not make it.
Dude, back when Andrew was drinking, we used to go out for brunch.
Yeah. If you're drinking, especially if you're hungover, brunch has the potential to be a very expensive, very fun event.
A very amazing time.
Yeah.
And then the bill comes, you're like, $80.
Oh, my God.
$80. So we would...
How many painkillers did I drink?
Yeah, but
Remember that drink?
Yeah.
That was, so good. It was...
We would go, we would pick the place, this place has bottomless mimosas, or this place has, happy hour specials.
Yeah.
And, the food was secondary.
Yeah.
We did want food, though, but it was secondary.
We used to always go to this place called Hi-Fi Clyde's, or Clyde's on Main.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
it used to
so
be called.
good.
And they had all these different, signature cocktails.
The Philly cheesesteak egg rolls at that place are unbelievable.
Yeah. I kind of, dude, if World War III, God forbid, takes place, I'm a relapse.
God forbid.
I'm always oh man, this is terrible. Hope we don't get attacked. But if we do,
yeah, Andrew,
I'm going down to the liquor store.
Yeah, Andrew, being America under siege and having a 1-year-old is the perfect time to start drinking again.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I believe it.
A little whiskey,
A little whiskey.
We can test
just to keep me warm at night.
I can test if I've been cured. Right now I don't want to test it because what if I'm not? But if it's World War III, I can test if I'm still an alcoholic.
You know how there's like different, like in the AA method of quitting drinking, it's like you're always an alcoholic.
Yeah, there's no cure.
Right, but for other like systems, like no, that's not necessarily true. So it would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, a little science fair project.
It'd be a roll of the dice, a science fair project.
Yeah, when my son's like 10 years old, we do a science fair project. It's like, my daddy has been sober for 15 years, and now we're going to start introducing one Busch Light
per night. He can have one a night.
And then we're going to see how it impacts his mood.
Then after 100 days, we're going to leave a 30 case in the fridge and see what happens.
No, the control is going to be this handle of whiskey we're going to set onto the counter, and we're going to measure it each morning.
Dude, Thomas, you fill it back up with water.
Yeah, right.
Thomas would have the best science fair project in the world if we did that.
Yeah, dude.
Thomas's real science fair projects would be like, this graph shows the correlation of stage time to shows books.
Yeah, right. Dude, my uncle, did you ever do the Pinewood Derby?
Yeah, I won the Pinewood.
Derby
my
too.
dad won the Pinewood
Dude,
Derby.
my dad also won the Pinewood Derby, and it was dominant fashion because, like, my uncle, the reason why my grandma was even here was because my uncle was...
So you were in Scouts?
A little bit.
Yeah, I was for like 2 or 3 years.
But my uncle was in town because he's going to, like, a model show, and not talking about, like, swimsuit models. I'm talking about, like, little model airplanes. Which is so funny when like autism didn't exist. It's like, dude, you're dropping thousands of dollars on plastic model airplanes.
Yeah,
it's like autism was alive and well in the 70s.
That does make me so mad when they're like, autism is like it's rampant, like one out of blah 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 blah, and it's like, dude, it's always been the case. They've broadened the definition, and I think that's good. Like, just because we have a few autistic friends, and most of them are fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's fine. They're just a little weird. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, my uncle's like, oh yeah, we can win the Pinewood. He like sanded it. He's like told my dad all these instructions, and like they painted it a bunch of different times to make it more smooth and aerodynamic. I don't know, dude. It was intense, but yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. But
you
Derby,
won, yeah.
We won.
My dad took it very seriously. We won the first year, and then the next year we had a new car, and it got second. And what was so funny is our new car beat the shit out of our old car. But there was one kid whose dad also took it super serious.
There was one kid whose dad was more autistic. Like, my dad was in the garage for, like, every night, hours on end for, like, a week straight. Like, it really is. The Pinewood Derby's more for the dad. I think all of Scouts is for the dads,
yeah,
mostly.
well, like, I've never seen it for real, but back in the day, they had something like the Pinewood Derby, but you would do it with, like, you would make, like a little car that the kids set in and, like, drove.
Yeah, that's what would be fun.
And it's like, I imagine just like, well, we're tired of scooping little kids' brains up off the pavement.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just put it into a model car.
Right.
We do it with a model car.
It wasn't even a car. We did like a rubber band plane, I don't know, thing. Dude, it's really sad because
you added a rubber band propeller to it?
Yes.
Interesting.
But there's like some kids whose like whose dads clearly did not help them at all. It was like honestly respect, because like it comes with just like a block. It's like a rectangle of wood.
Yeah,
you
just have to
sand it down.
And wheels. It comes with wheels.
Yeah, wheels.
Too.
And so like some of these kids just had a block, and like we had like a torpedo.
Yeah, dude. My dad made it looked like a fast car.
Yeah.
Mine looked like a car though.
So the Pinewood Derby is basically just like 40-year-old men against like 7-year-old children.
Yeah, dude.
Who don't know their fathers. Oh, I can't wait for it.
It's like a single mom puts her son in Scouts to get parental or paternal influence, and he's just like, son, you gotta learn that life's hard.
See, that's what you should.
Life's hard, buddy. You win some and you lose a lot.
You should volunteer as a Scoutmaster to meet single moms.
Oh yeah, great idea.
Yeah. Well, anyway, speaking of single moms, I think my son is done being confined in his room, and so we're gonna have to wrap this up. But
yeah. Oh, in other news, Thomas started walking.
He started walking,
so that's huge.
We call him the walking dude.
He screams like a metal band.
Yeah, we were teaching him some Black Dahlia.
He's got
songs.
great musical taste. He loves metal. He loves bluegrass.
Mm-hmm. He loves Miss Rachel.
Miss Rachel.
who's a apparently anti-Semite.
What? No,
Yikes.
she's not.
No, she's not.
Just so dumb, dude. Just throw that around. Call everyone it.
Whatever.
Everyone is. If you don't think, never mind. I'm just gonna shut
Yeah,
up.
we're gonna get taken down.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.
Bye.